Welcome back, my viewer. This is the Academic Tower on Look Up TV. I'm your host, Dr. Benson Zioka. I'm hosting Dr. Naitorian Turima. Yes, a lady who is highly trained and qualified. She's a teen specialist and a cross-cultural consultant. Dr. Welcome back.
Asante sana.
Now, in this session, I would like you to share with us about your cross-cultural consultancy. What is it?
Okay.
Let's start there.
So, a question that the Lord asked me 2 months ago was, what do you have in your hands, Naitori?
That is God now.
God, yes.
Okay.
And I remember, saying, so one of the things that I remember looking at is, I have my experience as a foreigner. I've been as a student in a foreign land and working in a foreign land. And so then the instructions were then use what you have. So how I'm choosing to use that is to prepare all those who want to go and study abroad or to work abroad. Mm-hmm. So you've gotten your visa, you've gotten your documents, you're ready to go. Come, let's sit down and have a conversation. So the conversation would be more of helping to prepare you and equip you for when now you go and land in that foreign country. What does it look like to go and look for? Maybe you're used to breakfast here, super loaf and jam and Blue Band.
Yes.
Yeah, and milk. That's it.
That's it.
So then you go to the US or the UK or Australia, whichever country, and you land there and you find out their milk is different from here. There's skim milk, there's 1% milk, there's fat-free milk, there's vitamin D milk, there's whole milk. And so then you get stuck. Like,
which one now?
Which one? I just want milk. And then you go and you find on the shelf, there's jam. So you're looking for strawberry.
True.
Jam. That's what you used here.
Yes.
So you go, you find the strawberry preserves, strawberry jelly, and strawberry jam. And all of them look the same.
Yes.
So you're like, wait, should I buy the jelly? Looks more like the one I used at home.
Yes.
This jam, it has the name, but it doesn't look the same.
Yes.
So then learning those differences and being gentle and kind to yourself. So what does it mean when somebody tells you this costs $19.59? So how do you count the cents? Because in Kenya, we don't count cents. We don't use cents. Our lowest denomination is 1 shilling. So those small things and what it looks like to file taxes in a foreign country, what it looks like to even be able to communicate in a way that they'll be able to understand you. Mm-hmm. I had it's not a situation, but yes, something happened. So we went to a restaurant and all of us ordered, so when you first walk in the US, they ask you for immediate first drink is water.
True. So
then everybody went on and I said, I was asking for water without ice, because they always give you water with ice. So then I said, water, no ice. He didn't understand what I said. Mm-hmm. So I repeated, because he just stood there blank. And I said, no, water, no ice. Didn't hear what I said. Mm-hmm. So it just clicked and I said, oh, water, no ice. And I kept moving. And he said, oh, water, okay. And he wrote it down and he walked off. So my American Caucasian friend is one who noticed and said, you had to change your accent. Mm-hmm. And so then it was now for me to be able to explain to her and say, yeah, in my country we say water. Yes. And everybody knows water. Mm-hmm. But here, it's water. And you know how to roll the R's. And so small things like that. And it's okay to learn how to speak that way. Because, here we say, oh, you've just been to America, 2 days, and you're here speaking with a twang. Yes. But it's a necessity on the other side.
Absolutely.
So small things like that. So I want to be able to equip all those who God has given the opportunity to leave the country and go and study.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. I think that's good. As I listen to you, I've heard you say that God asked you what to have at hand.
Yes.
And now, would you briefly share with us, how did you become a Christian? Briefly. And with all this learning, and you're talking about God, and many people that are highly educated, some of them have no place for God.
No place for God.
Yeah. Share with us, please.
I grew up in what we would say a Christian home. So we went to church every Sunday and just grew up being involved in Sunday school, going for camps when school was closed. Yes. But when I came to, and then always would hear altar calls being made in church. When I was 17, a girl I knew died. It was a sudden death, and she was only 15.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she was 15, 14. So for me, it was a shock that somebody young can die. I knew I would come and have a relationship with God, but I was like, let's talk about it when I'm 30 and over. Because to me at that age, 30 was ancient. Anybody who's lived till 30 is this equivalent at the time, for me, was equivalent to 100.
Yes.
So then at that point now, so that shocked me. The first of all, her death. Second was the testimonies that people had about her.
Okay.
So then I wondered, okay, so if I die now, first of all, what will happen to me? And second, will people also have a good testimony about me? What kind of person I am?
Sure.
So that led me to my knees. And I said, Lord, okay, I'm done running. Fine, let's do this. But I disclaim, I also wanted it to just be between God and I. It was going to be a little secret. I didn't want people to know, because for me at the time, being a Christian, being a born-again Christian, was a death sentence socially. So I just wanted it to be, just between God and I. And then I don't know what it was my mother saw, but randomly one time she just asked me, Tori, are you saved? And I couldn't say no. I said, yeah. And then I just kind of was hoping she'd just let it go and move on. And no, she made a big deal out of it. She went and told my pastor. My pastor came and told me in front of all my friends. And I thought, this is the worst day of my life. How could you do this? As a teenager, your friends matter. I was like, why would you do this to me? So, yeah. And then, but I as the years went on, and even, especially in the US,
Yes.
I look back now and I see that the Lord was getting my attention. He took me to the US to get my attention. Everything else was a bonus.
Yes.
But he took me there to tell me, Naitore, you need me. And this is what it means to follow me. And I've not looked back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, having been in the US to 7 years and above, I'm wondering, and you being a cross-cultural consultant, a teen specialist, and the kind of faith you have, and seeing the influence of technology on our teenagers.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what are you doing? What are you specifically doing to develop these teenagers? By that I mean, do you have like an organized curriculum, kind of, to help these teenagers as you think cross-culturally? Or when do you get them, and how do you get them? Something like a curriculum. Do you have something like that?
So right now I have a curriculum in my head.
Okay.
It's yet to be put on paper.
Yes.
But the way I look at it, and it's it was actually my dissertation, creation through the eyes of the Creator.
Yes.
So finding out our identity.
True.
So when I know, personally, I as Naitore know my identity,
Yes.
my identity in Christ, then everything else kind of falls into place.
Yes.
So then whatever the world tells me doesn't hold as much weight anymore.
Yes.
So then my mission and my purpose
True.
is to let other people know this is what God says about you. So that you stop worrying about what Tom and Jane and Mary are saying.
Yes.
That it's like, because the world is confused.
I like that word.
The world is confused. Even when you look at fashion.
Yes, yes.
Today, blue is in.
Yes.
Oh yeah, everybody, you need to be wearing blue.
True.
You need to cut your hair this way. Tomorrow it changes. Red is in, blue is out. Red is in, and you need to have long hair.
Yes.
But I cut my hair yesterday, so how am I carving long? So that you're always trying to keep up. But if you follow what God has said, that I have created you fearfully and wonderfully, that I have loved you with an everlasting love, that never at any one point will I ever do anything to change God's mind about me, then I'll have the courage and the confidence to do whatever it is that He has put me on earth to do. But if I care so much about what everybody else is thinking, I wouldn't do much. So
Perfect.
That's where I come from.
Wonderful. I like what you say about purpose,
Yeah.
or the original intent. Because like here in Africa, many people are simply imitators.
Yeah.
We have that challenge, especially with the young people.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you find this kind of hairdo, what, and people are just trying to follow celebrities and heroes.
Without thinking.
Without
realizing,
thinking.
Yeah,
Yes.
what's
What
happening.
kind of person am I emulating?
Yeah.
You see, and I like your passion for Christ. So I'm just thinking of how we would help these teenagers back to their realization. John Mason said in one of his books, that you are born original. Don't die a photocopy.
Yes.
We should not be anybody's number two. We should be the original God intended. Isn't it? So Dr. I'm seeing that kind of thing, that kind of passion you have for these young people. And really, there's great need.
Yeah.
Because as they are being helped to really know who they are.
Yeah.
Because you see, if I don't know who I am, then I'm not going to do what God intended for me to do.
No, you'll be trying to do what Tony is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was called to do,
You see.
or what maybe Tony's is hard. You'll try to do what Mark was called to do, instead
Sure.
of you being you.
Yeah. And because you will not be asked whether you did what Tony was supposed to do.
No, you'll be asked, were you faithful in
Isn't
what?
it?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So now that's something to think about as we think teenage education. Now with this secularism, the isms, what are some of the isms or some false philosophies that you have encountered as a cross-cultural consultant and teen specialist that you have found that probably they have hampered the teenagers? What are some of the false philosophies you have come across or false beliefs that you've encountered as you minister to them?
Many, that there are many ways to God.
Yeah.
That anybody can be a God. That, just believe in yourself. There's this humanistic ideology that's going around, and it's believe in yourself. The power is within you.
Yes.
But it's all just removing Christ from it.
And
Those are the two main ones
Yeah,
for
those
me
are the
that
two
I
main
keep encountering.
Yes.
Or even, what's the point? Like, Jesus is more of he's in, he's out. He was in for the last age group, but he's not. That's not who you like. Being a Christian is out of date. Yeah, so those are some of the things that even when you come and say, "Oh, I'm a Christian," people look at you like, "Oh, okay," or very judgmental. That's the other thing. Just Christians are judgmental, but that's also another lie that the enemy has propagated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, having been in education, especially higher education, myself for over 21 years, I've noticed something, that as people continue learning, okay, they kick God out of their lives.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of atheistic principles and ideals. And when you go like in the university, you find that no one is really encouraging you really to consider God.
No.
But Dr. Naitore, you look different. Now, what are you thinking when it comes to higher education and helping these young people at that level? Yeah, because already we can see the passion, can see the commitment. So what are you thinking in terms of that?
You've been created for a greater purpose than what you would ever imagine. And this same person who created you he's the one who holds the world in his hands. So yes, go do all the degrees you want. Go higher, aim high, do it all. But remember to always put him first. And following Christ and doing it his way is not a small mind thinking. Because if he's the one who created the world, then why not go back to him to ask him, how do you, what is it you are thinking, or what does this look like, or what is there beyond what I'm seeing? We focus so much on what we are seeing and fall for the lie that it starts with us and ends with us, when in essence it doesn't. You can't control your tomorrow, but yet you have the audacity to think that it ends with you. So that's the lie that many have fallen for. And that pride that comes in, it says it was my brain, my intellect, ni mimi.
Yes.
Na hapo ndio watu wanaanguka.
Asante. Nilikuwa nikuje hapo nikuulize, tunaona many young people, they use a lot of sheng. I know you are an academician. How have you been able to make your way through these things?
Ni kujua tu mahali sasa nitaongea Kiswahili, mahali nitaongea sheng, na mahali nitaongea Kizungu.
Well done. Dr. Naitore Nturima. We appreciate you for being with us today and sharing with us all this wisdom. Now, do you have a parting shot for my viewers, please?
What I would say, what I would tell every teen, every young adult, every individual, is that there is nothing that you cannot do in the power of the Holy Spirit. There's nothing. Aim high, set high goals, strive to do more than what has been done around you. But remember to do it with Christ. Allow him to lead you.
Thank you, Dr. Naitore. My viewer, we've been having Dr. Naitore Nturima with us in this session. She has shared with us about teenage education, and also she has given us tips on cross-cultural consultancy. We appreciate the wisdom of this lady. I want to remind especially teenagers that it is easier to succeed than to fail. That you are born original, don't die a photocopy.
Yes.
That you can make it in life with the grace of God.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I like emphasizing that God has the answer.
He does.
Dr. Nzioka says the Bible is God in paper form. So when you engage God and you allow the scriptures to speak in your life, then you become a wonderful teenager. And you become like Dr. Naitoren Turima. We really are privileged to have her in this session. Thank you, my viewer, for staying tuned. You are welcome again, and God bless you.